Hey everyone, this is Bick Benedict. We're playing Ninja Gaiden 1 on very hard difficulty. This is a third of 16 chapters, The Skies of Vengeance. And very brief chapter. What we have here is we're on the ship, the airship, looking for some vengeance from the title card. There is one room here that doesn't contain any items. I'm going to go through every room anyway just to look, because I have a tendency to forget which rooms contain what. I was looking at my previous videos that I uploaded for this guide, and there's some problems with the video, but they're not my problems, they're YouTube's problems. It just seems like some of the video is getting not processed all the way or something, but it's because of two factors: how old this game is, and YouTube's compressing it however it's compressing it. When I watch the native file, though, there's nothing wrong with it. It just loses some quality from YouTube. So on this chapter, what you don't want to do is forget to grab any items, because you cannot come back here. This is an open world game with some limitations. But now I'm going to start using counterattacks. The X counterattack does that kick where he kicks the enemy away from him. I think that was the and then stuff's happening so fast I can't narrate it. But the reward, I mean, there's a okay, so for the counterattacks, you get the guys off you, plus you deal damage to them, and it's just a great way to add complexity to the combat system. So right there, I had an essence staggered in another room, and I used it to expedite this charge over here. So for the counterattacks, how that works is, so right there, that was the Y counterattack, or the Y parry, if you want to call it a parry or a counterattack. I usually use the word parry, but it is called a counterattack in this game. So when you're blocking, you tap on the X or the Y button, depending on which parry you want to do, and it is random. But you don't want to just spam when enemies are hitting you. You don't just want to press X or Y, like jam on the buttons, because there's no reward for spamming in any game. You'll get penalized for it, in fact. So there are certain times when I press the X or the Y button, when I go in for a parry, I always get it, because I know that's like the proper time to do it. But other times, it's a little random. Usually when I come off on a... sometimes I think that it's best intended for when you're actually like landing and coming off an attack and you're trying to recover and you get an enemy right off you. The upgrade I made at the store was to get this dragon sword up to level 2. There was a Life of the Gods pickup which won't be seen in the guide, and it was for trading in golden scarabs, and I think it was just for trading in the first one, because I don't think there's a reward for trading in number 2 and number 3, because we will get up to number 3 before this level concludes. So just bear that in mind. You saw me get a Life of the Gods a minute ago, and I also, Miramasa also gave me one for trading in some scarabs. Generally, when I was playing this game, actually, see, now you can Azuna drop. I did want to mention that before I forget. Let's see. So I think the Azuna drop was a purchasable. Yeah, to get the Azuna drop, you just buy the Azuna drop. It's not linked to the level 2 strength of the sword like it is in other games, Ninja Gaiden 2 specifically. So we got the counterattack. That was a scroll. See, some moves are limited to, you have to get the scroll in order to do it. Other moves, like the flying swallow, for example, that is performed by just getting the blade up to level 2. Then you can start doing the flying swallow. So it's never set in stone either. They always change it for every difficulty, and it's really I don't mind it at all. I'm just saying that it's hard for a guide maker like me to remember every time, like if it is dedicated to the scroll, or is a move you just unlock for buying it for the level 2 strength of the weapon. So I unlocked that door out there just so we can come and go a little bit more freely. There's a map on this desk to pick up, as well as some intel to read if you want to. In this chapter, it's going to be under 20 minutes, and I did like a speed run through it. Actually, I did it so quickly. It can get up to where, like in Sigma, because in Ninja Gaiden Black and in this game, there's no Fiend Challenge in the warehouse room. But in Sigma, they do incorporate that Fiend Challenge, so that's why this video and my Sigma and my Ninja Gaiden Black video, they're not as long as my Sigma video is, because I always put the Fiend Challenge in it. So the Izuna drop right there is a good move to do. Charge and attack right here. See this? See, I couldn't move the camera around, so I kind of had to rely on the camera. Actually does pan away from you when you do it when enemies are coming in on you off screen. So that is a really good thing that this game does, and for some reason they just don't do it in Sigma 2 for some reason. So there's another Y parry. See how I was coming off that attack? If you rewind that, I was coming off an attack, I landed, and then I parried. And then that's what I was talking about a moment ago when I was thinking to myself that this game is best. I mean, it has the parry system set up so when you parry off when you're landing, it's something to just help you recover right away. So that attack was XXYY that I did a moment ago. When we get the blade up to level 3, we will be able to do what is generally my favorite move to do, and just because it looks really nice and it's a safe move to do, it's XXYY. And I always do that move whenever like Marbus is incapacitated or Alma. It's a good move to do on those guys. So no Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang in this game, but we can't expect it to be in this game because it's not in Ninja Gaiden Black. But I really like that weapon, and I love how it's in Sigma. So now we're going to take a left here. Beware that there's a couple enemies here, but I don't think they're the guys that... No, they're just standard enemies. They're not any guys with rocket launchers. See, look at the splash damage from that Izuna drop. It's wonderful, the splash damage from that particular move. Okay, so this is going to lead us into the save room area. So definitely save your progress here. Equip the bow. And there's going to be some boxes you could smash in this next room. But I'm just going to leave them unsmashed for now and start turning the crank. So what happens is you turn the crank with the X button X number of times. I think it's 3 turns. And then I'm going to start smashing boxes here and trying to get a couple staggered so I can do, if I can get off the wall right there, that move. So why do I do that move? I do that move to get money. That's mostly, I mean, because it's an instant kill, but it's mostly for money. So look at that splash damage. It's wonderful splash damage. That's a lot of the charm of this game comes from that splash damage. For me, anyway. Also, remember you can aim your UT with the left analog stick. So if you're doing a UT and you're thinking that one guy is going to be finished off and another guy is running up to you and you want to take some damage off that guy, move the left analog stick in his direction and Ryu will target the other guy. It's only when you're distributing the hit point damage that you might not actually kill people. Like if 2 people run up to you with that you've never hit before, and you start hitting both of them, you're likely to not kill them because you're distributing the damage at that point. So I'm gonna take these guys out with arrow attacks, and then drag the essence over to me. See how it staggers or just collects into the environment? I'm going to grab some more arrows, and although you didn't see me do it, I'm just going to tell you that I did go over there and save it. Because something could happen, you know, the guy could hit me off the rail or something. Something bad could happen, and I just don't want to do that sequence over again. But here is, you know, if we could use the camera, this would be a little bit more easy. But That just shows you the limitations of the camera right there. See? Pretty bad. So there's going to be one enemy out here to deal with. And what I'm going to do is do the X parry and kick him off if I can. I actually do it over here, but I just like to do it. It's funny. So he grabbed me right there, and I'm going to kick him off. It's funny. Here we go. I'll do it right here. There we go. Enjoy your flight downward. But some of the penalties for not getting a parry off to connect is that these guys will simply just grab you and take a lot of damage off you. Ordinarily, though, you'd have a couple of enemies more than just that one guy. And in Ninja Gaiden Black, I think they put exploding bats in that chest. So they really started to screw with the player in Ninja Gaiden Black in a good way. I'm not saying that it's a bad game or anything. I'm just saying that this game is pretty sedate. It's pretty calm. I mean, we will get into some hectic fights later, but for the most part, it's a pretty relaxing journey. Even though it's some do consider these games to be the hardest games ever made. I will try to fix the video problems. If I can minimize the problems that YouTube ends up having with these videos. It was nice to see that the first two videos were enabled for monetization, so that gave me a positive start to the guide. Okay, so my next objective is to go to the storeroom, since now all of the doors are unlocked. And that's basically it. You can make your way over to the boss now. It's a pretty short level. And in this room, you're going to pick up some really good items, one of which is a Talisman of Rebirth, so we can get back what we lost in the previous chapter for having to waste it. And we're going to be fighting Dynamo for the boss, and no lackeys yet again, so it's a very good... I just don't understand why they put lackeys in these games. I mean, sometimes it does legitimately help if you're going to charge essence off their... I mean, you're going to kill the lackeys, use their essence to expedite a charge. But I can understand, because it immediately puts a new spin on the battle with a lackey there. Even if it's just one lackey, because you're distracted. And I think that's what they're going for. But I personally just don't like it. I just don't like it, and when I fight a boss, I just want to fight the boss. I don't want to have to deal with lackeys. So this is really the perfect game for me. No fucking lackeys. Okay, so if you're in this area, you just want to go and save it. It's the smartest thing to do. And the really horrible thing about this whole situation is there's no save point right next to the boss like they put in Ninja Gaiden Sigma. I think it was absent in Black too. So every time you die on Dynamo, and hell, you might, because it's not, even though he doesn't have lackeys, it's still not a, even though it's not excruciatingly difficult, sometimes you just want to do a little bit better. Maybe you wasted a Talisman of Rebirth, you want to start over and do better so you don't have to waste it like I did. Well, I did waste it, but then my next take, I didn't waste it. But you have to go from the save point, which is way far away in that main room. And every time you die, you've got to load it, and there's just no checkpoints anywhere. And they do that in a couple places, like the second fight with the Spirit Doku. There's no save point right next to the door. I think they put one in Ninja Gaiden Black. It's hard to remember with 3 versions of a game, how they do it in every version, but I have a pretty good memory, and I know when a game is screwing with me, or just when, not necessarily screwing with me, but the game makers are very lazy, and it's just an oversight that's unacceptable. And these are round the board oversights. They're not just an oversight every once in a while. These are consistent oversights. So there I got a nice wide parry, took 2 guys down. And I've never liked the Dynamo fight. Even though he doesn't have lackeys, I still don't like him as a boss fight. Yeah, I think it has to do with the environment, being on a roof that's peaked. So a couple more guys. There is somewhat invisible railing on this, so it. See, that guy fell off and he died. He expired right there, so I don't know why that was. But the thing you want to do is pull the switch that activates the hatch, then go back and save it. Now, normally there would be a save statue right over here, but for some reason it's not in here. Now, I'm actually tempted to look and see if there was one in Ninja Gaiden Black, but maybe there wasn't. So definitely save it before you climb this ladder. And he's not that bad of a boss. I think you can get in more flying swallows than the version on Ninja Gaiden Black. But it's not a case where you're going to get a lot of flying swallows. He doesn't let you do it over and over again. But see, I fly swallowed him, and then he had a moment where he had to recover. Same with throwing magic. Now, you're going to see me do the Azuna drop quite a lot on this guy. But when you come down, you're very likely to get grabbed. So, unless you have magic on board, you might not want to do that attack. See, even coming off that where I missed the flying swallow, he still was going to grab me. But if you ever go up to him, he will likely try to grab you. So if you evade away and then evade back, you can get in some good hits on this guy. Mainly what I'm doing is I'm trying to go in for flying swallows. And see, he took time to recover, Azuna drop, but he swiped at me that time. If I had done the Azuna drop, I would have carried it out, landed, and then hit him with magic. So it kind of just depends. See, I saw him going in for another swipe, so it's kind of a dance you've got to do with this guy as far as evading. And he's very, very, very grab happy. And poor Ryu is just too slow to evade sometimes. See, that was definitely my fault, but even though you're blocking, you're still going to get grabbed. That's the bad thing here. So I used a lot of items, but at least I didn't have to use that Talisman of Rebirth, which is the most costly item in the game as far as an item. So I'm going to cast magic. It's not going to kill him, but I'm going to go in for some more attacks. I'm going to evade, fly swallow, and take him out. Oh no, that was the Azuna drop, but I didn't need to do the full Azuna drop because only the first 2 hits took him out. So I'll see you guys in Chapter 4. We're really getting this guide rolling, and I appreciate the support, and thanks for watching. I hope it's helping out for you.